What's going on, guys? My name is ATF Cobra, and today I have some tips and tricks on the easiest way to fly and operate helicopters. Now, the first thing that you guys want to do is to actually, when you want to learn how to fly a helicopter, go into co-op. Don't sit there and go into multiplayer and try to fly a helicopter, because a lot of people are going to get pissed off, and a lot of people don't want to see noobs fly helicopters. It's just the honest truth, because when you are flying and you don't know what you're doing, you might give the enemy team an advantage. Because if that enemy helicopter comes and takes you out, then there's no aerial defense other than the jets. And also, if you don't know how to fly and you let an enemy team take your helicopter, then now they have two helicopters, and they probably have jets flying around in the air, and you definitely don't want that, because it leads to your annihilation. It leads to the destruction. I've seen it plenty of times. I've been in games where two helis were flying around and just destroying everything. So anyways, now that you got that clear, just go into co-op with a buddy who likes to have fun, because co-op is where you could die over and over again and not really care about much of anything. I mean, you can, have fun as much as you can, and this is actually the fastest way to actually learn how to fly, because if you are flying in multiplayer and you're constantly being attacked and you're constantly having things pushed onto you, it takes a while to get used to that. It takes a while for you to actually get better at escaping from other helicopters if you're not able to destroy them, and especially jets, and dodging jets, because some jets will try to ram you, or some jets will try to actually destroy you. And more tips for you guys is actually, when you're churning, learn how to roll when you're churning, because when you roll, you'll actually roll a lot faster, and it helps you churn faster, because when you're just actually trying to churn, all you do is churn left and right. You don't really churn at the angle that you need, to bend around corners, or bend around buildings, or bend around structures to give you cover, because you're going to be constantly attacked by maybe other helis, or even some guys with iglas or stingers trying to shoot you down. Okay, and learning to strafe is probably one of the most notable things and most effective things that you guys can do when you're learning to fly, because when you do learn to strafe, you learn to circle around the enemy, circle around your targets, and circle around other helicopters. You really need to learn how to do that, because I don't know how many times I can tell you where one guy's trying to chase another helicopter, and they're both flying up at the same time, and they're both trying to kill each other. It just looks foolish, and it's kind of a win-lose situation, 50-50. Like, one might destroy the other, and the other might destroy one. It's never about skill if you're both flying up at the same time and trying to destroy each other. Now, I'm in no way a helicopter beast or pilot. I've been doing good. I've been getting better. So I just wanted to share these tips with you. So just listen up, even if it doesn't sound like I have everything correct, but I've been playing long enough to know what the hell I'm talking about. And also, try third-person view. Third-person view gives you a lot more view than the actual in the cockpit view. You can see helis, you can see everything else in your view and your field of vision, and you could also see what's below you. You could spot engineers with rockets. You can see them a lot clearer. Like this game with my boy Silent, I was able to spot some engineers on the ground, because one time I did actually look into the third-person view. Now, I don't do it too much in this video, because we're mostly up in the air most of the time, and when we do get to the ground level, I'm either destroying or watching out for my team and watching out for my player. Another thing that you guys also want to do when you're in the heli, spot long range. This is a huge advantage, because it gives you a starting point of where your enemies might be coming from. It gives you a basic idea of where your enemy is spawning. You can spawn tanks for the rest of your teams, and you can spawn jeeps and stuff like that. And jeeps are the fastest oncoming vehicles into the scene. Jeeps will get there faster than everything else, and if you could spot a jeep for your teammates, that really helps them, because they now know where and which side that the enemy team is attacking. And like I said, spotting. Just spot everything you can. Try to spot as much as you can, especially for your pilot, especially for if you're the gunner. You want to make sure that if you can't get something, if you used up all your rounds, you want to make sure your pilot or your gunner is able to take out that target, so you give them actually no chance of getting up there. Remember, this is a game to win. This is not a game to play fair, and just give them a fair chance. And I almost went for the jet, but I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like completely destroying a jet because it just spawned. I didn't want to give them a fair chance, but I also didn't want to be a jerk and destroy their jet in the spawn, because I know how much I hate that. And I can't fly a jet for ish, but I'm learning to fly that as well. I might give that a tips and tricks video on my next episode. But anyways, how to lose lock-ons. This is probably another essential thing. Because of the patch, post-patch, you're able, all helicopters and jets, they come with flares now. So if you go into your menu before you actually get into the chopper, before you spawn into the game, make sure you have your flares on. A lot of times I'll spawn in the game, I won't have my flares on, and I'll be pissed off because the game probably doesn't save it most of the time, and it just doesn't register it sometimes, and I'll just spawn in a jet and I'll fly around and I'm like, oh my god, where are my flares, and I just die. And it sucks. So make sure you always have everything that you need. Make sure you know what you're gonna use, and if you are also working with your teammate, make sure that you guys are on separate intervals of who's flaring, who's not flaring, whose turn it is to flare, because this game, that's what we were doing. That's how we were able to stay up as long as we did. I'm gonna upload another segment or the whole video for you guys. It's basically a flawless. The only way we die is when this jet constantly kept trying to ram us, and he finally got us in the end, and that's when the game was just about over. But yeah, anyways, you want to make sure you're going back and forth with your teammate flaring. Like I said, not only does that save you, but it keeps your enemy team from destroying you and taking you out the sky. Okay, and the next tips I got for you guys are basically what you unlock for the helicopters. As you progress, as you get better, you're unlocking stuff, such as the heat seeker, the stealth, autoloader. These are vital to help you win games as well, especially winning against beastie pilots. And if you have a pilot like my boy here, Silent, he's probably gonna dominate you in the sky and whatever you pick. I mean, he was destroying jets and this helicopter. And number one, it's because of the fact that post-patch they made helicopters a little bit stronger, and they made them able to lock on jets a little bit easier and faster. Like once you reload from your lock on, you're able to lock on again, and that's why we were able to kill some jets. I think we destroyed like 2 jets in this game as well. But it's just crazy how helicopters could take out jets now, and vice versa. You can kind of destroy a helicopter really quickly with a jet now, but it is a little bit easier. But if you have another jet on your tail, you might not get the chance to it because you have to go in for another run. And here's the list of things that are actually unlocked and actually help you. The heat seekers are the first pilot weapons that you get. The heat seekers are very vital. They help you destroy other jets because you're just shooting missiles. These are just missiles that you shoot to them. They're lock on, and they're effective because if you don't have them and your enemy does, and it is heli, and you don't have anything, there's no way of taking them out. So the heat seekers are unlocked after 800 points, and these are very easy to get. Even if you're not the pilot, if you're the gunner, these are very easy to get. There are a couple kills. They should come probably in 1 or 2 games, if at it. Next is the stealth, which is unlocked after 1600 points. It uses the IR signature, making it harder for enemies to lock onto you, which is actually pretty sweet. It does it for a little bit. You chopper guys probably know a lot more how to use stealth or when to use stealth, but I prefer the flares over the stealth in most occasions because sometimes it feels like the stealth won't work, and if you do have heat seekers coming onto you, you might get destroyed. Like a missile might not flare off and just hit you. So I don't rely on it too much. And the autoloader, I wouldn't use this as much because I mean, it does help because it decreases the minimum firing time between bursts with your weapon, but at the same time, there's so many other things that you could put in order to give you a better advantage when you're against your enemy. Now, something that I probably have unlocked and I didn't use was the air radar, which is unlocked after 9,000 points. But my boy had it on, so I didn't need it on. And we were able to spot everything. When there was a jet in the air, we were able to see it. When there was a helicopter in the air, we were able to see it. Not only does that help you when you're flying and you're taking care of enemies, but it watches your back. It's almost like a friend that's reminding you, hey, there's a helicopter or a jet nearby. He might be trying to take you out. As you guys, it's basically, you look at your mini map and you know it's there. It's kind of a heads up, letting you know, kind of a warning, so you won't get destroyed from the back so easily. Another thing that I found really helpful was the maintenance. It's upgraded after 20,000 points. Improved vehicle damage regeneration, which is actually perfect. It's so perfect when you're flying and you have flares. It makes for a devastating combination where if you are using it with a pretty good pilot, you're not gonna get taken down very easily. I can tell you that one part. Another thing, another tips and tricks which I think is kind of unfair, especially with the little birds, is if you have 2 engineers with you, and you have one on each side and they're both repairing at the same time. The little birds are easy to take down, but at the same time, if you have 2 engineers repairing, and you're basically an unstoppable machine. This, and I forgot which other helicopter is able to do it, but when you have 2 engineers, they could constantly repair. This was a very cheap tactic that a lot of people started using, but it's actually very effective if you want to stay in the air. If there's a boss chopper up in the air and you guys can't get to him, take 2 engineers, go into the game, go into a heli, take 2 engineers and have them both try to repair you, have the pilot try to take out the other pilot, and that way you'll be able to work as a team and take out the enemy helicopter. Now this might sound cheap, but it's really not. If you're struggling and you guys aren't winning, if you're being pushed against your spawn by another chopper pilot who's really good, this might be a useful tactic to actually use. Now another very I don't know how to say, but beastie weapon is the TV missile. Now I haven't unlocked this, but I watched a lot of gameplay of a lot of people using it, and it is devastating to watch it. It's like watching your rocket with a camera, as you guys should know by the title, but it's watching your missile like a TV. Basically you watch it hit your enemy, hit your target, you can guide it, and it actually destroys your enemy, and it's very fun to watch. It's very thrilling to actually get that kill. It's like you're watching it right before the final death. It's extremely fun. I watched a lot of gameplays from it, and it actually really motivated me to actually play a lot more with the helicopter so I can unlock this. Now there's a lot other unlocks for the scout helicopters, such as the heat seekers. The heat seekers for the scout helicopters aren't unlocked until you get about 1,200 points, which is kind of fair, because when you think about it, the scout helicopters are able to fly a lot faster, and they don't do much damage, but they're just a lot speedier and harder to take down. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this gameplay and this commentary and tips and tricks that I had for you guys. It's been a boy. Look at this guy, jerk. Peace.